Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Shri Gaunitai Panchatattva Ki Jai Hari Bol. So, Hare Krishna, everybody, again.
Dineshwar Prabhu just joined.
Huh?
Dineshwar Prabhu has joined now.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada. Okay, I'll try my best. So, so let's see.
We start. Let's welcome Motherji saying Hari Bol 3 times.
Oh, Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank
Hari
you.
Bol.
Krishna.
So let's hope and pray that we have some good discussion time here, something useful for the next hour. And I'm hoping and praying that with this endeavor, as our Simeshwar Prabhu has arranged these Chaitanya Charitamrita classes, our only hope and prayer and desire is that we all together develop a very, very strong, deep faith in the Panchatattva, especially because this topic currently that's going on is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, Nityananda Prabhu, and Panchatattva's explanations. So my prayer, my deep, deep prayer to Prabhupada that he gives us a drop of faith, that we all attach our minds, our souls to the Panchatattva members, and somehow or the other continue our bhakti to cross over this ocean, so that's our prarthana today. And I would like to begin by asking all of you, now since you have been studying, if you could share like one point or maybe 2 3 lines about what has been your realization in terms of Mahaprabhu or Panchatattva or his appearance or Nityananda Prabhu, anything in that connection. If you were anybody would like to share anything, like what they have been, learning or realizing, anything that comes to their mind.
So far we learned Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Krishna.
Oh, yes.
Many argument and so many things.
Yes.
Proving us in our heart that he was.
Yes. Very nice. So Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. That's your thought, and this, right? That's what you have.
And that proves so many after argument. It makes us feel that he was Krishna.
Yes, that's very nice.
Radha's bow, with the Radha's bow.
Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mhm.
Pranam, all grace to
And
Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, he is Namo Mahamadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurat Vishnama. And he appeared like a Krishna, right? His color is like Gauranga, means his Gaur Varna in Radharani's bhav, and to deliver us like Patita Jiva in this Kali Yuga by just giving, like he propagated that Hare Krishna Mahamantra everywhere. He just traveled all over like India and gave this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and he is very, very like compassionate. Like all the avatars, he killed demons or he did something, but this avatar is like Karuna avatar. Like he just spread that Karuna everywhere, compassion, and because of him only we are in this parampara.
Very nice.
So,
very nice.
yeah.
Very nice. So I think that verse, Krishna Varnam Tvasha Krishnam, is like really in your heart. Yeah, that's very nice.
Tango Pangastra. Yeah.
Yes, very nice.
Parshadam.
Very nice.
And Nityananda Prabhuji is like Guru Tattva. So he is like always with him, and so many things about Nityananda Prabhu, right? So very nice, like Advaita Acharya. He is like both Vishnu Tattva and Sadashiv Tattva. And then Narad Muni came in the form of Srivas Thakur, where in his Angan always Kirtan was going on. So many pastimes about that. And then the Gadadhar Pandit, Radharani itself. So I heard, just wanted to share, Mataji, one thing. Like all these avatars, Krishna was killing demons, right? With nails or with something, weapons. And then Radharani said, now you have to come next time, you will not kill anyone. And that's why they, like I heard in the Katha, that's why Radharani came in the form of Gadadhar Pandit. And Gadadhar Pandit was always keeping watch on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, too
beautiful
much.
pastime.
Right, very nice. Too much killing, right?
Uh, yeah.
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 That's true,
Okay.
because his killing is very different. He's killing our hearts, the hearts, and
Yeah.
the abominable tendencies. So he's killing all of that, and that's what this, I think, the whole section is all about.
Hmm.
So yeah, anyone else would like to share anything?
Dandabot Pranam Mataji, Dandabot Pranam to
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm just sure.
Hari Bol. So, Mataji's already explained that uh, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Krishna himself, and he came in this Kali Yuga to spread the holy name. Not only that, simplify the process, also give us the prema bhakti, to give the prema bhakti.
Yeah.
So how to real Krishna told us sarva dharma parityajya na mamekam saranam bhaja, but Krishna did not explain that how to leave all the religion and come to him, surrender to him. He did not how to do that, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shown the path how to do it.
Very nice. Very
Hari.
nice. I think I think you have been really learning well, very well. Like I think all of you. It's really wonderful to hear from all of you. Thank
Hari
you.
Bol. Hari Bol.
Uh-huh.
Dhanyavad.
Now, so this chapter 3 in Adi Lila, the external reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we are on the 67th verse today. So as we all have seen in this chapter, the author, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, has fully discussed the external reasons for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are two reasons, internal and external, and we are learning right now the external reasons that are immediately related to our understanding, our connection. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, after displaying his pastimes as Krishna, thought it wise to make his advent in the form of a devotee to explain personally the transcendental mellows of reciprocal service and love exchanged between himself and his servants, friends, parents, etc. So that's what we were saying just now. Prabhuji was saying, like, now the appearance is different because now Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. He said, "Sarva dharman parityaja," and connect with me. I am your father, right? He says, "Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitama." So then, how do we connect with him? How do we practice the Bhagavad Gita instruction of surrendering to Krishna, Sarvadharman Parityaja? And that's why Mahaprabhu says, now I'm coming, and I'm coming to connect with my servants, my friends, my parents, and showing them how to connect with me in this world, right? So according to the Vedic literature, the foremost occupational duty for humanity in this age of Kali is Nama Sankirtan, chanting of the holy names of Krishna. And the incarnation for this age, especially Mahaprabhu, is exactly preaching that process. But only Krishna himself can explain the confidential loving service performed in the four principal varieties of loving affairs between the Lord and his devotees. And Lord Krishna therefore personally appears with his plenary portions as Lord Chaitanya and the Panchatattva. And it was for this purpose that Lord Krishna appeared personally in Navadvipa in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Say it again. Okay. So we have seen so far that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has presented a lot of authentic evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures to substantiate the identity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna himself. And also Mataji, Niru Mataji was mentioning about that. Um, I have a very interesting document and I just wanted to show it to you. Maybe later on we can discuss in more detail another time. But this says the conclusive evidence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's predicted appearance in the Vedas. So it is more than Srimad Bhagavatam. The other parts of the Vedic literature, especially the Upanishads, that there are so many, almost like 24 verses coming from different parts of the Vedic literature that specifically talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, his name, his pastime, and his place of appearance, and the names of his parents. So it's very, 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 very specific. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also has written something about it. I will probably look forward to that. I will locate that. But here right now, what we have, I'll just read the list and we don't have to go into the details. But in addition to Bhagavad Puran, there are references in Adi Puran, Kurma Puran, Garuda Puran, Narsimha Puran, Padma Puran, Narada Puran, Brahma Puran, Bhavishya Puran, Agni Puran, Matsya Puran, Vayu Puran, Markandeya Puran, Varaha Puran, Vamana Puran, Ananta Samhita, Mahabharat, Atharva Veda, Samaveda, Chaitanya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Shvetashvatara Upanishad, and Purusha Bodhini Upanishad. So there are these many references to very specific prediction of Mahaprabhu's appearance in the Kali Yuga. So maybe we can take one verse which is very, very specific. Sri Chaitanya Upanishad. There are actually Chaitanya Upanishads are part of the Atharva Veda. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has brought that to us because otherwise nobody would know that it is there in the Atharva Veda, and there is a separate Upanishad called Sri Chaitanya Upanishad. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has brought this information to us, and there are at least 6 verses or 5 verses in that Chaitanya Upanishad that mention that the Supreme Personality of Godhead will appear again in the Kali Yuga, appearing as the greatest devotee. The Supreme Lord will assume a 2-armed form of golden complexion in his abode of Goloka Vrindavan, manifested on the bank of Ganga at Navadvip. And he will disseminate pure devotional service in the world. And this incarnation of the Lord is described in the following verses. So this is what is being said in the first verse of Sri Chaitanya Upanishad. And then in the subsequent verses, they're actually describing the form, the activities, the place, and the parents of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So maybe another time we can look at this, but just to give you the kind of extensiveness and the depth of information that's available in the Vedas for the prediction of Mahaprabhu appearing in the Kali Yuga. So again, this is just to strengthen and solidify our trust and faith in Mahaprabhu and his associates, the Panchatatvas. So I think now we can look at the verse for today. That's verse 66, and I might want to share. Let's see if I can share it here. So here is the verse. Ango pangastra kare swa karya sadhana. Anga shabdera artha ar shuna diyaman. So let me try to sing it. अंगोपांगास्त्र करे स्वकार्य साधनाम अंग शब्देर अर्थ आरशुना diyamana. And the meaning is, translation is very simple. It's not like a long verse. All it says is that his plenary parts and associates perform the work of weapons as their own specific duties. Please hear from me another meaning of the word anga. So, as Satyabhama Mataji was mentioning about that verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532, Sango Pangastra Parshadam. And let me see if I can quickly uh, display that verse for you, and then we can go back again. Because the same exact words are being used here. So Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam. Yajnehi Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. So how Krishna appears in the age of Kali? They worship the incarnation of Godhead, who is constantly singing the names of Krishna, and he's accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So the words that are being used here are Sa Anga means associates. Anga means associates. Upa Anga means servitors. And these two words are, now we are going to refer them in the Chaitanya Charitamrita verses that are written by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. The same exact words, the same exact concepts. So Anga is the associates, Upa Anga are the servitors, and the Astras. Astra is weapons. And Parshada means confidential companions. So these are the four associates or constant companions of the Lord when he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his associates, his servants, his weapons, and his confidential companions. Anga, Upanga, Astra, and Parshada. So now let's go back to the verse under consideration that we have from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 3, and verse 67 that we are looking at right now. Here. So here again the same words, Ango Panga Astra Kare, Swa Karya Sadhana, Anga Shabder Artha, Arashuna Diyamana. So his plenary parts and associates perform the work of weapons as their own specific duties. And hear more about the word Anga. So now let's go to verse 68 and let's see. It says, Anga Shabde Ansha Kahe, Shastra Paramana, Angera Avayava, Upanga, Vyakhyana. So it says, अंग शब्दे अंश कहे शास्त्र परमाणम अंगेर अवयव उपांग व्याख्यानम. So anga shabde means by the word anga shabde, anga or limb, amsha part. Who says that? Kahe shastra paramana, the shastric evidence is there. What is the shastric evidence? That a bodily limb or anga is also called a ansha or a part. And angera avayava. Anger means of the limb, and avayava is a part, right? So angera avayava means a part of the limb is also called upanga. Upanga vyakhyana. Vyakhyana means it's explained, and upaanga means a partial part. So there's anga and upaanga. So anga is the bodily limb, and upaanga, first of all, anga is limb and it's also ansha, and upaanga is the part of the limb. So now let's move forward, because now we will understand the context of this. This is just the words that are being explained. So once we move forward, we will understand the more context of this, why it is being said. And so immediately here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he mentions a word that was spoken by Brahmaji to Lord Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 14. And why is he bringing this verse here? Because we'll understand, because there's no purport of Srila Prabhupada here, but we'll try to understand as to what. So remember, we are talking about Anga as Ansha, and then Upa Angas as part of the Anga. And we are connecting with Anga, Upanga, Astra, and Parshada of the Lord. They come together with the Lord. And eventually we are going to talk about the other members of Panchatattva as being the Anga, Upanga, Astra, and Parshada. And a little reference of that was made in the previous verse 67, when it said that these plenary parts and associates, they perform the work of almost like weapons of the Lord. And we all know the meaning, but we'll just go over that again, that how when Mahaprabhu is performing his pastime, is accomplishing his goal, then all the Angas and Upangas and the Parshadas are also being used as weapons, or they are also acting as weapons of the Lord, which means the Lord is utilizing them to accomplish his goal of transforming the hearts of people. And we know the stories, we're going to go over some of the stories, when and how the Panchatattvas, they perform some of these activities as Anga, Upanga, as astras of the Lord, as the weapons of the Lord. So let's look at the verse that's spoken by Brahmaji to Lord Krishna, and that's Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the verse. Narayanastvam nahi sarvadehinam atmasi adhishakhila loka shakshi narayano angam narabhujalayana tachapi satyam na tavaiva maya. Brahmaji is asking Krishna, are you not the original Narayan, the supreme controller, since you are the soul of every embodied being and the eternal witness of all created realms? Indeed, Lord Narayan is your expansion, and he is called Narayan because he is the generating source of primeval water of the universe. He is real and not a product of your illusory Maya. And Srila Prabhupada also mentions the same thing, that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, there's a reference here, cross reference, but it's not of the same verse that we are looking at. Actually, it is chapter 2, verse 30, where Srila Prabhupada comments on this verse as follows, that this statement, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken by Lord Brahma in his prayers to Lord Krishna after the Lord had defeated him by displaying his mystic powers. So this is the Brahma Vimohan Leela, and after that Brahmaji is speaking. And we are reading the purport because then we can make a connection to our verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, because you will understand why that verse is being brought here by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So let's continue the purport. Brahma had tried to test Lord Krishna to see if he was really the Supreme Lord, playing as a coward boy. Brahma stole all the other boys and their calves from the grounds, pasturing grounds. But when he returned to the pastures, he saw that all the boys and calves were still there, and Lord Krishna had created them all again. So I think this will go on. But the point is, that Brahmaji is making, and Srila Prabhupada in the purport, is that Lord Krishna is Narayan, the father of Brahma, because Lord Krishna's plenary expansion, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, after placing himself in the Garbha ocean, created Brahma from his own body. And Mahavishnu in the causal ocean, and Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, the super soul of everyone's heart, are also transcendental expansions of the supreme truth. So Krishna, Vishnu or Narayan is the incarnation from the original form of Godhead Sri Krishna. And the essence is that also, although Lord Brahma was born from Lord Narayan, Brahma now understands that Narayan is himself a mere expansion of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So this is the verse that is spoken. And if we go back and let's see what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is now saying, is that Jalashayi Antarayami Yai Narayana Seho Tomara Amsha Tumi Mula Narayana. So the manifestation of the Narayan who predominates in everyone's heart, which is Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, as well as Narayan who lives in the water, Karana, Garbha, and Kshira. They are all Narayans, right? And that Narayan is your plenary portion, and you are therefore the original Narayan. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning how for Lord Bhagwan Krishna, Narayan is an Ansha. And any further expansions of Narayan into Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, they are all Amshas. They are Anga and Amsha. They're the same. They are limbs and they are Amsha. So now coming to the main point. For that, I will just take verse 71. I won't go beyond 71 because now the whole point will make some connection or context when we look at verse 71. And that's, I think, the most important verse for our study today. So what is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying is Anga Shabde Ansha Kahe Seho Satya Haya Maya Karya Nahe Sabachit Anandamaya. So the translation is that the word Anga indeed refers to plenary portions. Such manifestations should never be considered products of material nature, for they are all transcendental, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. So let's first of all recite this verse together and then we will go over the purport. So I will recite, you can recite after me, and then someone else can take turns to recite. Okay. Anga Shabde Amsha Kahe Seho Satya Hayam
Deho Satya Hai,
Maya Karya Nahe
Maya Karya Nahe,
Saba Chit Anandamayam.
Sab Chindanandamaya.
Yeah, you can say Chidananda, Chit Ananda. Yes, Chidanandamaya. Nice. So Anga Shabde Amsha Kahe
Anga Sabde Amsa Kahe,
Seho Satya Hayam
Deho Satya Haya,
Maya Karya Nahe
Maya Karya Nahe,
Sabachit Anandamayam.
Sabachit Anandamaya.
Okay, would you like to recite Mataji again?
Okay, Anga Sabde Amsa Kahe,
Anga
Seho Satya Hai, Maya Karya Nahe, Sab Chit Anandamaya.
Nice. Anyone else?
অঙ্গ শব্দে অংশ কহে সেহু সত্য হয় মায়া কার্য নহে সব চিদানন্দময়.
Nice. So Anga Shabde means by the word Anga. Amsha is plenary portion. Kahe means one means. Seho that. Satya, the truth. Haya is. Maya of the material energy. Karya, the work. Nahe is not. Saba, all. Chidanandamaya, full of knowledge and bliss. So when it says Anga Shabde Amsha Kahe, the word Anga indeed refers to plenary portions. So again, what we saw in verse 67 and this 71 is kind of repetition here, that Anga means Amsha. Okay, and what next? Seho Satyahaya. Seho Satyahaya means this is the truth. And Maya Karya Nahe Sabat Chidanandamaya means these Angas or Amshas, they are not considered as product of material nature because they are part of the Supreme and they are Sat Chit Anandamaya. So let's see, look at the purport now, what Srila Prabhupada is explaining. In the material world, if a fragment is taken from the original object, the original object is reduced by the removal of that fragment. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not at all affected by the actions of Maya. The Ishopanishad says, Om Purnam Mada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Avashishyate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Sri Ishopanishad invocation. So, in the realm of the absolute, 1 plus 1 equals 1 and 1 minus 1 equals 1. Therefore, one should not therefore, one should not conceive of a fragment of the Supreme Lord in the material sense. In the spiritual world, there is no influence of the material energy or material calculations of fragments. In the 15th chapter of the Gita, the Lord says that living entities are his parts and parcels. Mamaivancho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. There are innumerable living entities throughout the material and spiritual universes, but still Lord Krishna is full in himself. To think that God has lost his personality because his many parts and parcels are distributed all over the universe is an illusion. That is a material calculation. Such calculations are possible only under the influence of material energy, Maya. In the spiritual world, the material energy is conspicuous only by its absence. In the category of Vishnu Tattva, there is no loss of power from one expansion to the next, any more than there is a loss of illumination as one candle kindles another. Thousands of candles may be kindled by the original candle, and all will have the same candle power. In this way, it is to be understood that although all the Vishnu Tattvas from Krishna and Lord Chaitanya to Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, and so on appear with different features and different ages, all are equally invested with the supreme potency. Demigods such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva come in contact with the material energy, and their power and potency are therefore of different gradations. All the incarnations of Vishnu, however, are equal in potency, for the influence of Maya cannot even approach them. So there are a couple of important points here. We are taking the example of Krishna, Narayan, and the three expansions of Vishnu, and further down the expansions of Brahma and expansions of us as living entities. So what's being said here is that they are all part of the supreme absolute truth. Mamaivancho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So there also Krishna is using the word amsha, mamaiva ansha. So amsha means plenary portion. And in the spiritual world, everything is of the same spiritual quality. And because it is spiritual, even though it's divided, it does not get divided in terms of its potency. And what example Prabhupada gives is that the first example is of Ishopanishad, then how the supreme absolute truth, 1 plus 1 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is also 1, because that 1 is the supreme, is the spiritual potency, and therefore anything separated from that 1 also is 1, and the spiritual quality, not material. In the material world, we have this example Prabhupada gives in the beginning, that anything that reduces in the material world, it becomes separate. Even with my body, like if my, say for example, my pinky finger gets gets injured and it gets damaged, and it gets so much damage that it's beyond repair, and if, say for example, my finger needs to be cut off, then when it's cut off by the surgery, it's gone, it has no value, it goes in the trash. And then I as a person will always be short of that one finger, right? But in case of Krishna, that's not correct. What what they're talking about, the expansion of Narayan and the expansions of Mahavishnu and other Vishnus, they're all of the same potency. Not only that, but the other expansions, direct expansions of Krishna, who are Ansha, are also of the same potency. And the other example that's given is of the candle, that one candle lights another candle, lights another candle, but all the candles have the same illuminations. So in this way, what is to be understood is that the example that is being given of Brahmaji, that Brahmaji is saying that, are you not Narayan? And if you are Narayan, you are the same as Krishna. And because I am your child, I am born from you, I am also your Amsha. Maybe I'm small, and as living entities also, we are small. We are called Anu, and the Lord is called Vibhu, because the Lord is the original one, and we are all separated parts and parcels, but we are eternally separated and still parts and parcels. We are separated, and yet we are eternally attached to Krishna. We have our individuality, but we are attached to Krishna, and in that way, if Brahmaji is saying that, are you not Narayan, my father, and I and of the same potency, then we can also understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Parshadas, his Amshas and Angas and Upangas are also of the same spiritual potency. And they are not, it is explained in this verse that they are not to be considered as material. They never should be considered products of material nature. Or here it is said, Maya Karya Nahe. So they are not the Karya of Maya, they are not the work of Maya, but they are Sabha Sat Chit Ananda. They are full of the spiritual potency, Sat Chit Ananda. So this is the point. And I think we will not go further beyond 73, because then tomorrow we can cover um, the actual point. But what will be being said later on is that we can kind of in brief understand that all this is being said only because now the explanation of Panchatattvas is coming. Besides Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, Gadadhara, and Shivasa, and they are all Panchatattvas. They are all Amshas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they are not only Amshas, but there are other further divisions of other personalities. So there'll be Amshas and Angas and Upa Angas and Astras, and how they will operate in that way to support Mahaprabhu in his Leela. So again, like if we want to look at the essence of what we are learning here, even though these couple of verses that we saw today do not directly speak of Mahaprabhu and the Panchatattva, but these verses are creating the background. And when we jump on the verse about the Panchatattvas, all this background work will remain in our minds, and the same principle will be there. Now, if we want to connect it to ourselves, like sometimes we talk about these things, but then if you think that, okay, where do I fit into this? Then we can understand our position as explained in the Bhagavad Gita and also Bhagavatam, and with the examples of these Chaitanya Charitamrita chapters, is that we are also, in some sense, Amshas and Angas and Upangas. But we are Anu, as I mentioned before, we are Anu, we are small. But then we can also be different astras of the Lord. We can become different weapons of the Lord because we are participating in the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's called it's the Sankirtana movement, but also it's kind of a war against Maya Devi, right? It's kind of a war against the materialism. And Prabhupada mentions in the Back to Godhead that our main purpose is to condemn the materialistic approaches of people. We want to condemn the only partial understanding of this world as material, but we want to make it as like a complete understanding of material and spiritual. And that's how it's kind of a war against Maya Devi. It's not Maya Devi, but it's a war against the influence of Maya Devi on people's hearts, so that people's hearts can be transformed. And in that sense, we ourselves, when we join the Hare Krishna movement, we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and Panchatattva. We are all students of Srila Prabhupada. in that sense, we can also act as tiny weapons in the hands of the Lord. So what we do is that we become an instrument in the hands of the Lord. Because any personality, if they are holding the weapon for any purpose, then that weapon is their tool, is their instrument to act, to achieve their purpose. When Lord Shri Krishna comes and he has a weapon, like in Mahabharata and in the Krishna pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam, he killed many demons. He killed many personalities. And in Mahabharata, he became the cause of the war, and he made everybody get killed in the hands of Arjuna and the Pandavas, right? But either way, the point is that they all are the astras or weapons of the Lord, and they're all instruments of the Lord. So the Lord will use them as he wants to. Right? Similarly, here also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he comes along with his associates, the Panchatattvas, and he will use them for his own purpose, for accomplishing his goal. And these Panchatattva members also will serve the Lord as his weapons. We saw that in the 67th verse. It says that his plenary parts and associates, they will perform the work of weapons as their own specific duties. Right? In the 67th verse we saw. We can go back and check that verse. 1 second. Let me go to 67, 69, 68, and 67. It said, Ango Pangastra Kare Swakarya Sadhana. Anga Shabdera Artha Ara Shuna Diyaman. So in the first line it says Anga Upanga, parts and associates, Astra, Kare Swakarya. Swakarya means their own duty, and they are acting as that. So when we will go further into details of the Panchatattva, how they acted as the Lord's weapon, how they perform their duty as if an instrument in the hands of the Lord to achieve Mahaprabhu's purpose, then we will understand more about this aspect. But right now, for our purpose, we are saying that we are also some sort of an astra, because we will be used as instrument in the hands of the Lord, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hands, because he has come into Kali Yuga to spread the Sankirtana movement, and he needs a lot of help, because of course he is the Supreme Lord, and he will achieve his own objective, but he's going to achieve his objective with the help of people like you and me. And he will make us the tiny instruments, tiny weapons in his hands, to transform the hearts of ourselves first, and then transform the hearts of other people. So this is the humble meaning that comes out of this whole discussion, in my humble understanding. But if you have understood anything, like if you have really have any thoughts on this, or any comments or questions, then please, I open the floor now. So please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very nicely explained, Mataji. As usual, very nice. Like each point, very nicely described. So every day we are listening this nectar and adding every day in our life. So that is really good, and we are really fortunate having this parampara, and our dear Srila Prabhupada gave us, right? Otherwise, I don't know where we have been doing, what we have been doing at this moment.
Yeah.
Like Friday, I remember when children were little, that time I was searching Saturday, Sunday what to do. Now we have to think which program we can attend.
Right.
Like some other time, like four things, and then we have to check like which one we can attend now.
Yes.
So fortunate we are.
Yes, then this is a great sangha. We are learning from each other, and
Yeah,
because without association, this is not possible, right?
not possible. Yeah, association is very important, and
Right.
we should have so much gratitude for our dear Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, and all the devotees on this group are
Our
very,
devotees, yeah,
all are very consistent. They come every evening, and try to learn step by step, in
Step by step,
small bites, but it occupies our mind and consciousness. So thank you for pointing that out, Satyama Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hari Bol.
Dandavat Pranam. You have explained so very well, made it easy for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But I would like to hear from you or other devotees also. Like, did you have an experience or a realization where you really felt like an instrument in the hands of God, in the hands of Krishna, a tool, a weapon in the hands of Krishna or Mahaprabhu? Did you have any experience or realization or a role to play like that? I mean, to the extent you want to share, but I'm just curious to hear.
You gave us a concept that Krishna is the Vibhu and I am the Anu, so I have to be instrument of his, helping out his mission and go forward. That makes us to do more inspiration to do his Krishna's work.
Yes. Has anybody actually done that kind of
instrument of his, helping out his mission and go forward? That makes us to do more inspiration to do his Krishna's work. Repeating again?
Yes. I'm a little confused. So, Chirani Mataji, did you raise your hand? Please go ahead. I don't think she raised her hand purposely. I think it's by mistake, I think. But anyway, has anybody actually...
Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there are so many incidents, but I think what I can personally share is when we...
I don't think she raised her hand purposely. I think it's...
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
But anyway. Oh, okay.
Has anybody actually...
Yeah, Mataji. Yes. So I think the thing what I can personally share for myself is when we started the our ICNJ Yatra way back, and we all were so new. We knew nothing about running, the Sunday program, how to do it. Like we were all, even like for me personally, it was, I remember when the Sunday cooking started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who had cooked for 150 people?
I know, true.
And I actually just prayed. I mean, the first program was done by that Manu Bhai. I don't know if you remember, Mataji. So he had made that Gujarati, food, and he had made it. The second one was, I think I drew the short straw.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was so scared. I just prayed to him. I said, I'm cooking for you and for your devotees. You take care.
True.
And I think that reliance, I mean, I think we just rely so much, and and for me, that was it. That every Sunday, that first Sunday especially, was the most scary. And then I think after that, but I think I just prayed to him and I said, please, you take care of this. And for me, that was it.
That was that feeling. Very nice. And absolutely true. Like we just surrender and say, use my hands, use my mind, whatever, you get it done from my hands. And how
Correct.
wonderfully comes out, like everything comes out well. We never cook for 150 people, but everything comes out so wonderful because we are being used by him as just instruments or tools in his hands. So that's wonderful realization. And I know you have done this for many years. It's not just one or two times, but but it's really wonderful.
No, Ataji, but I think we were very fortunate that we were engaged in this seva,
Yes, yes.
I think we got the opportunity, and for me, I think that was, and we were younger.
Yeah, I know.
But I had a lot more energy then.
Right, yeah.
So it was, and I think in so many little ways, and even in now today in life, many times, when you're kind of running for the train or whatever it is, and then I'm like, oh God, this has happened. And I just say, well, we know that even a leaf cannot move. you know, and then we put it in practical application. And I think I've got that realization now, like I just resign myself. Okay, whatever it is, it's happening with His will. We have to accept the good. It's very easy to accept the good. It's only when the bad stuff happens you say that, okay, maybe it's happening because of whatever, my karma, you know, and it was bound, it was written in my thing to happen, so it's happening. And I think that comes with so many years.
Yes, yes, definitely. It's years of study, years of practice, and different experiences. Definitely.
And
But
I think Amritanan Prabhu wants to say
yeah, sure.
something,
Please
so
go
I'll
ahead.
give him the phone.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat, all grace to Prabhupada. So I'm sharing with Sachirani on a phone. Listen to your class. Thank you very much.
Hare.
Mataji, what you had mentioned, I think you are a great example of being an instrument or a weapon. And when the yatra started, we didn't even have a proper Sunday school. You're the first teacher, and you would literally sit with our kids. Of course, now they're all grown up.
Yeah, the shoes.
Where people keep their shoes, so a little bit space would be made, and you would sit in that corridor on the way to the bathroom, outside the bathroom. So how is all this possible, Mataji? So yes, you asked this thing that anyone has the experience. I think your example, and that's what today our Sunday school we have a whole community hall. Thank you.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So yeah, that's what, like when we work for other people, when you join the mission of the Lord, and automatically you become an instrument. That's thank you for pointing that out. And it's good to mention it to some of them who are probably recently fairly new, they're joining, so they can get inspired. And this can also happen on your family level, where you try to convince or try to take other family members along with you. That time also you are becoming an instrument. When you have small children, you're trying to teach them Krishna consciousness. As parent, you are an instrument in God's hands, in Krishna's hands, in Mahaprabhu's hands. So always consider that you are playing a very important role. And just as is mentioned in verse 67, that they do as a part of their duty. And so we also can look at it like that. It's a part of our duty, prescribed duty, to become that instrument and to make a small, whatever possible difference in our world, in the world of our loved ones around us, in our community, in our society, wherever possible. So I think that's the point we are carrying home today from this discussion. I think I would like to stop here. If anyone else has any other comments, we will hear, but otherwise we may stop in a few seconds.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisance.
Humble
All
obeisance.
glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Mataji, what you just mentioned is so apt, because I mean, I've not done as much service as each of the devotees here, but like when you said which incidents make you think you're an instrument, not an instrument, but fortunate, that we are so fortunate that we also have been made some instruments, in the sense, like even like you said, when I have convinced a few of the family members or friends to read the Bhagavad Gita, even a child, when my own kids, when they ask me about a verse of the Bhagavad Gita, when I'm able to express to them and take them maybe one step closer to Krishna, like now I know my mother has taken it from me, or like I don't know, when I told her, she has started doing some things, chanting sometimes. And then even some family members I have given Gita to, and they have really like appreciated that, and the influence it made in their lives. Maybe it took them a few steps ahead, may not be much, but I think these small things, Mataji, nothing very big, but when you do something like this squirrel service also, you feel like very, very blessed that you were able to do something. And I think this is just the mercy of Prabhupada, of your guru, and the Vaishnavas, and even Krishna blessing you in some way. So I just wanted to share, like, nothing big, but even small things when we do, like, even one Gita, one person, when we give somebody, and if they genuinely are blessed by that, I think even that is like very, very fortunate, I feel.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that beautiful realization. And that also, you also clarified one point that as devotees of Mahaprabhu, we should always keep our eyes and ears and hearts open, because you never know when Krishna is making you an instrument, when Krishna is making you as his tool. And we should be very careful not to lose that opportunity. We should always be, alert that, oh, somebody said something, and you immediately catch that and say, oh, here I can be the instrument of Krishna. I can be helping this person or devotee or family or member or whatever that opportunity is. So wonderful. Always be alert and never miss the chance to become Krishna's and Mahaprabhu's instrument. So thank you
Can I
again.
just add one sentence here,
Yeah,
Mataji?
please.
And I feel, just to add to, I think Padmamukhi Mataji,
Yeah. Okay.
Mataji, I don't think there's any service which is small or big. There's no service which is big and no service which is small. Service is service.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for encouraging her in that way, and really able to see every service is the same quality. Yeah.
And she does garland service, Mataji.
Oh, she does, huh?
That is direct contact with like Radharani and Krishna, right?
Yes.
With our hands and
Hari bol.
Great. Wonderful. So I think we may stop here, and I'll offer my humble obeisances to all of you again. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patanam
Pavane Vaishnavi Namo Namaha.
Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
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 Jai. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Wonderful discussion too. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.